Leo Your Excellency, nimeona kuna chama ambacho kimeanzishwa kinaitwa sijui kusikiza sijui kitu kama hiyo. Mambo ya kututenganisha kwa misingi ya kikabila, tafadhali hiyo hatutaki hata kidogo. So hearing that there are political parties that are tribal political parties, it is very unfortunate, and these people are not boarding.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Finance Bill 2025 emerged, I took my time to look across and see who really is playing a significant role in this kind of a Finance Bill 2025. And I looked at it. Who can we blame for what happened last year, 2024? On this particular video, I looked everything across and realized that it is Kimani Kuria to blame. And on this particular video, I want to take you through on why, step by step, Kimani Kuria is the person to blame for what happened in the country as far as last year is concerned. Now, but before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, take a second or two to subscribe. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, my number is here. You can share with me and you can support the channel because that's my personal number. Let me kindly see in the comment section what you think about the video that I'm going to do here today. Now, Kimani Kuria is the MP of Kuria Town. And as we speak, I mean MP of Molo Town. And as we speak today, Kimani Kuria is the person who is in charge of the budget committee. I think, let me call it finance committee in parliament. Is the chair. So this gentleman is always seen when there's finance bill. That's when you hear him talk, do this and that, hold press conferences, talk about the issues that are affecting the community and such. So as we speak today, ladies and gentlemen, Kimani Kuria has emerged. But first of all, why am I blaming him for what happened last year in 2024 June protests? Now, what happened by that time? Let me start from there. People got killed. And killings did not just occur at the start. They also occurred at the end. Now, which people are killed? Youths, innocent ones, harmless ones. People were shot in the street literally. Some of them were basically running from the police. And the police felt that this is a threat and this person was shot. We also saw a police officer on TV seriously firing towards one of the youths who was running, and that's Rex Masai, who eventually succumbed to death. And that is very unfortunate. Youths got killed in this country. Youths got injured. Not just youths, even other generations. People got injured basically by the wounds of the police officers who probably were beating them. They were beating them and they developed some wounds, some injuries. We had also those who were shot and survived. And as we speak today, I think there are some still in hospitals, some whose lives were literally affected negatively. So it's a sad story to realize that Kenyans are still living with such kind of wounds. There's a kid who was literally assumed to have died at some point, and I think he also passed on. Actually, that kid passed on. A kid who was literally shot about 7 times or 8 times by rubber bullets, some of them even by live bullets. And that was very sad. These kids who were shot at that time, it was unfortunate that it happened by the police officers, allegedly. So as we speak today, it is very sad that we're having such kind of things happening in the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it was a bad incident to see youths, kids getting involved in these kind of bad things. Also, we have the police officers right now who got injured at that time. Suffering, some of them lost their arm, like that one who was trying to fire at tear gas. It hit his hand, and that's how he lost it. He cannot do anything for himself right now. He needs the family members around him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak today, there are some police officers also in court fighting for their justice. Why? I'm talking about this because this is also unnecessary involvement of police officers on excessive use of firearm. Because like that one who was suspected to have been engaged in shooting Rex Masai, he has been in court fighting for his life. Fighting for his justice. And apart from that, that police officer as well, his reputation has been tarnished. Friends, people are running from him because of the kind of involvement that he got into of excessive use of firearm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we also had businesses getting destroyed. Businesses getting destroyed and actually making losses. That was very bad. There are some goons who were introduced, allegedly government-sponsored, to intrude into Gen Z protest, and as a result, Gen Z protests will be seen as negative ones. People never to rejoice when they see them in the streets again. Those goons literally destroy things. In Kisii Town here, it was noticed. The police were not even there. These goons moved around and took sodas, took properties of people. They literally destroy. They drink soda, destroy. They steal from people. If you ever phone, it is snatched. Very dangerous occurrences within the town of Kisii. So in a nutshell, that one led to destruction of very many things. Now, properties were destroyed. We know buildings that were burnt. We know buildings that were burned, and it was very sad. So people lost billions of money. Ladies and gentlemen, there was government occupation almost set on fire. That was not something that was meant to happen. It's only that the members of parliament who insisted to do whatever they were not supposed to do in respect to the wishes of the Kenyan people. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was very bad. In a nutshell, there were huge losses in the country as a result of the Finance Bill 2024 that was passed without considering the cases or maybe the opinions of the common man. What does this bring to us? And why am I blaming Kimani Kuria? Number one, Kimani Kuria, ladies and gentlemen, he engaged in public participation. And the message in the public participation, not just the Finance Bill 2024, but that one of Finance Bill 2023, Kenyans were rejecting so many things within it. But let me just take the Finance Bill 2024. Kenyans said that before you take our money, first seal the loopholes. Drop the Finance Bill. Seal the loopholes, then come to us. He ignored that. Kenyans were saying this huge embezzlement of Kenyan funds. Stop taking more. He ignored that. Instead, he went ahead to tell what he called MPs to vote for it. Ladies and gentlemen, when Kimani Kuria was given an opportunity to say anything about Finance Bill 2025, he gave very negative utterances. If you cannot pay for car tax, don't drive your car. Such kind of a stuff. It was very wrong to say that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's something we cannot really encourage from our leaders. Apart from that, we have demonstrations occurring in the country, asking the Kimani Kuria and his team to drop the Finance Bill 2024. They ignored that. It started slowly, they still ignored. Until the youths were more agitated because their voices were ignored, hence intensified their entry to the streets to demonstrate. Ladies and gentlemen, just to go further, we had what we call the religious leaders asking the parliament to listen. The team led by Kimani Kuria to listen and do the editing as part of the expectations of Kenyans. But still, they ignored the church leaders who had a very, very noble voice about the concerns of Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, see if that's not enough. Opposition leaders, including Mbadi, advised these people and told them, the Finance Bill 2024 is not good. And instead, they went to Parliament to argue contrary to the expectations of Kenyans. And we cannot sit down and assume that was okay. They argued, eventually participated and voted for this bill. It was unfortunate that Kimani Kuria felt like it is now ideal to announce the dropping of the Finance Bill 2024 after Kenyans have experienced losses of properties, Kenyans have died, Kenyans have been injured, police officers have been injured, police officers have been taken to court, businesses have made losses, government taxes have reduced because people did not participate in that businesses were not open in that particular day. Parliament was occupied, almost set on fire. And actually, most importantly, most of the leaders in this country are rejected on the ground because of that. We cannot feel that was okay. Therefore, Kimani Kuria had the powers to edit that bill according to Kenyans' wishes and take to the president the right thing, because the legislature is assumed to be independent. But instead, he gave powers to President William Ruto and ignored the people who gave him the powers. And as a result, he did what William Ruto and his team wanted. Eventually, Kenyans suffered. That is not what we encourage. But that is why we blame Kimani Kuria for this. Sitting in that committee is not just to impress a leader. It's to work for the people of Kenya. My name is Abel Mokua. I don't know what's your take. Let me see in the comment section on who you blame.